Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
Hey, dragons and denizens, my fellow humans. Welcome to the show. So this is Super Happy Dragon Lucky episode City 2, that is 0xc2, or the 195th episode of Super Happy Dragon Lucky. I am Dave, filling in for Joe today. Let's go through some updates. If you're unfamiliar, this show is every Tuesday at this time, and there's always updates on Dragonchain and Den, and there's an AMA section at the end. As a reminder, nothing is financial advice. Nothing I say on the show is financial advice. And stay tuned after the updates for an AMA. All right, so we've got a couple of segments. One of them is called The Current Thing. I posted this morning, and admittedly, the source of the video is not great. It doesn't show the whole speech from Breaky, and it has a certain slant that tries to tell you what your opinion should be. In the text, there's a link to what that person actually posted on Twitter, which is the full speech. So I posted that over into The Current Thing Lair. It's about what's going on in Ukraine, and it's a speech in opposition to the way that the U.S. is responding to it. I thought it was really interesting, regardless of your opinion or what side you're on. I think it's always really good to understand all sides of the conversation, because how can you have an opinion, much less a strong one, if you don't listen to what everybody else is saying? So I would say give it a listen, especially the Twitter one. I think he made some interesting points. A lot of it's not fun to think about. A lot of it's not pretty and clean or simple to think about, but it's very worth it, I think. And if you can find a better source from a YouTube link, post it in the replies and I'll update, because I kind of want something that's more neutral than what I used. So the Current Thing segment is supposed to be also like, how can Dragonchain fix this? And I was thinking about that this morning, and really kind of a Den thing. That's what I pay attention to the most anyway, is the stuff that Den's doing. And I think that the anti censorship or the censorship resistance of Den is probably one of the most important ways that Dragonchain or blockchain or transparency, decentralization tech can help that situation. That situation being that depending on what country you live in, you might not get all of the information about a topic, or you might only get the information that's supposed to make you think a certain way, right? So yeah, I think that decentralized publishing in general, you might hear people talk about citizen journalism or things like that. A way to do that is not censored, where you can say basically whatever you want within reason and have the whole conversation in one place. Because the whole conversation is out there. It's just not all in one place most of the time. You got to go to the different various propaganda machines to get the different angles of thought, and then you can maybe collate them on your own. But I think Den could probably have a lot of people in the same conversation without that sort of influence, and I think that's healthy. So there's the Current Thing segment. There's how I think that Dragonchain could help fix it. And you should go vote on my post because that'd be great. All right, so there's the current thing. Now we've got some updates on Dragonchain proper. We have some lot distribution from last week. Last week, there was 480 lot created. So there were 2 questions or topics. They got 57 lot each. There was 1 featured post. They got 57 lot. There was a current thing. They got 57 lot. There was a host last week. That host got 57 lot. And then Dragonchain received 175 lot for that episode. So that goes out every week based on those categories I just laid out. If you get a featured article in here, if you get, I guess next week I'll get some lot for hosting this one. If you ask questions in the AMA, you get lot. So there's different ways to capitalize on that, to get your rewards. There is a new capabilities brief over on the Dragonchain blog. I was checking that out just this morning, and it's got some really good, looks like it's got about 6 to 8, like 1 paragraph mentions of different capabilities in the capabilities brief, focused on enterprise security, things that scaled up enterprise stuff should be thinking about. And it's really good snapshot actually, because there's some things in there that more enterprises should be using already, but they're going to they're going to be forced into using some of this stuff. In general, the tech that allows them to operate in trustless environments, or the tech that allows them to operate in quantum environments, or things that would allow them, for example, the smart contract gated data access system, where you can have, how would I say, gated data access that's logged and you can't go back and cover your tracks if you access something, which is one small piece of the puzzle. But there's a bunch of stuff in here. There's stuff about ransomware, behavior systems, of course, and the hybrid blockchain architecture as a concept in general. Go read up on that. If you have any questions, post about it in DIN and ask over in the Dragonchain layer for any more details that you want to see on that. Let's see. So there's enterprise security, and then let's move on to DENDAO updates. So we have new layers. Every month we do an LCP. We just finished that last week, and then yesterday the new layers went live. So we've got 4 total new ones. 3 of them won in the typical fashion, and 1 used the matter fee-based creation method, where you can purchase a layer that almost won or had a certain number of voters. So number 1 by unique voters was True Crime. Number 8 in total lore committed was Civil War II. Number 21 in lore committed was Challenge Accepted. And 8 and 21 in those categories is sort of the standing numbers that win every month until there's a proposal to change it. So those won. Congratulations to those. They're up and available to start tinkering with right now if you want to go set up the artwork, if you want to go set up the description of the layer so that people know what to expect in there. And then in addition, so Crypto Joe Rogan was nominated by Greg Lang, who you might know from World Blockchain Roundtable. And that one got 15 unique voters, which is above the 8-person threshold for creating any layer that you want during the LCP that has at least eight voters. So that was used, and Crypto Joe Rogan is now a layer that exists. I know Greg has already said that he plans on, I think he's got at least 2 guests in mind that he wants to start off with. And that's somebody that would be an interesting host, because he loves to do long format, deep, cerebral conversations. And so I think Crypto Joe Rogan's a good way to frame that. I'll be interested to see if they keep that name or if it changes, but the format should be good. I'm looking forward to it. Go, if you are an owner, if you voted for any of those layers, you are now an owner. So any lot that you put in has become, any lore that you put in has become lot. It's a 1-for-1 ratio. The more lore you put in, the more lot you get when and if that layer wins. So you are the admin. You are the mods. You are the person who needs to decide what the artwork is in those layers. So go do it and go vote on. If you don't have anything that you want to put up there, just make sure you're voting on somebody else's suggestions to guide those communities. All right, so we've got that brings us up to 154 layers to date that we have on Den, and over 229 million lot NFTs. So that is a big collection. Yeah, cool. So there's the layers. Now we've got Coffee with Den, which is going to be tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, which is 6 a.m. Pacific time. Sorry if you're on the West Coast, but get up early and have coffee with us. We're doing a freestyle episode tomorrow, which if you've ever watched them in the past, they kind of end up as a freestyle episode a lot of times anyway. So that'll be just par for the course. But if you have a particular topic, you can also treat these as an AMA. I am always there, and I am always willing to answer any questions you throw at me, whether it's about Den or my experience with failing to get grass seed to grow out in my front yard this spring, or anything you want to talk about. It's a casual meetup open to all denizens, and there will be a link to join live. You can chime in and chat, or you can leave a reply. All of those things are rewarded. I give you a lot, depending on how much of the things you do that we want you to do over there. So go check that out. That's tomorrow morning. Next up, we've got DENDAO updates. So DENDAO, we've got, yeah. So what DENDAO happens, we have a meeting on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific time. And those pop up over in the DENDAO layer. Usually they'll be up by Wednesday, so you can see what the agenda is and have any, reply with any input, stuff that you want us to talk about on the show. Last week, we went into overtime. We talked about a bunch of cool stuff like the potential for a premium layers or premium accounts, and the different kind of like quality of life or, additional features that those accounts or those layers might have. We've got a couple of things coming from, for example, if you've noticed, John is hosting World Blockchain, and he's also on the coffee show from time to time. He is a writer. So we're looking at maybe prototyping personal layers and stuff around what he does. So if you want to be in on that, treating him as a guinea pig to see how that system might work, definitely keep up with that conversation, which we'll probably hit on again in DENDAO this week. Last week we went through a lot of really kind of complicated options, things we could do and how it might look. I think this week we've got it narrowed down to where we can probably start from effectively. And I expect that to be some part of that agenda that's over in the DENDAO layer. So get up on that. That'll be April 27th this week. We have a World Blockchain update to get to. Let's do that. So World Blockchain Roundtable, that is another one that happens on Thursday. It is a rotating panel of hosts. We did Game Show 2.0 last week. That was a topic that was proposed by Joe. If you're unfamiliar, this is a show that is completely DAO operated and controlled, and the topics each week are decided by the community. We vote on them every month, or we propose them and vote on them every month. And then that's where our weekly topics come from. And then on the weekly shows, people put in questions. If they get voted up to the top and they get hit on the show, you get rewards in the form of lot tokens. And those can be used to increase your weight whenever you vote on how the show is run. Quick note, because I just remembered that I forgot to do this last week. I'm going to throw up a World Blockchain Roundtable GI today. I guess I need to hurry up and get on that. But based on some feedback from the most recent change where we've been hopping over to Twitter Spaces, there's been some interest in pulling that back over to the show itself and not switching platforms. So expect a GI over there. If you are a lot holder, please do vote on that so we can make a decision quickly and not wait until next week. So then, speaking of the next show coming up for World Blockchain, we're going to be we did game shows last week. We're going to be doing blockchain dystopia this week. So last week was fun and games. Now it's super serial. So do leave your questions for Whale's New Order or Whale's World Order, aka Blockchain Dystopia, over in episode 101's post in the WBRT Lair. And as a quick reminder, if you don't have something specific to dystopian whales running the world stuff, you can leave any blockchain question. It's fine. So go ask whatever you want, and vote on what others have asked as well, so we can get an order in there and see who gets the most desired topic or question pushed to the top. So go do that. That'll be at 11 Eastern or 1500 UTC on Thursday, episode 101. All right, take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this with an AMA and some featured content.
Now, more than ever, our data is at risk. Our supply chains are in jeopardy. Our businesses feel powerless. Different way, a safer way, and you have power over your data. Dragonchain gives you proof in an untrusted world. Build now at Dragonchain.com, America's blockchain.
All right, welcome back. So AMA time, and as a reminder, I'm not Joe, so I'll do the best that I can, and maybe Joe can chime in the replies. And find Justia for the dockets for any time that there is an update on the case. It should go there. And if you have a password, if you have an account, if you've registered, Pacer is a place to get updates to as soon as they come out. So there's links there. I know Pacer I think it's free to sign up, but you gotta like pay 10 cents per page or something. I've only used it a few times, but if you want to do your own research, those are some helpful links where you can get into the nitty gritty and see if anything is published, probably before we get around to saying it here on the show too. Besides that, it's probably all there is. We're kind of waiting on them, and they've told us that we're going to be waiting for a little while, from what I understand. Again, just my personal understanding. But yeah, cool. So there is a quarterly report too from Dragonchain that has updates on the SEC complaint. So keep up with those. The blog, a lot of people overlook the Dragonchain blog and even the quarterly reports, but there's a bunch of stuff in there, especially the quarterly reports. So definitely keep up with that. Click on the news button up in the Dragonchain.com website. And I imagine the next quarterly report will have something in there about it too. So those are the places, the links on the legal fund and the quarterly report and the Dragonchain blog. Of course, super happy as well. Open to AMA, just like you did. So thanks for the question, Alexons. I believe that's the only question we got today. So cool. I mean, ask more, not cool. Go ask more questions. But yeah, that's fine. One question is enough. Featured content. I'm going to throw two pieces up this week. The first one is basically a lot of what I said earlier about the different shows, but it's a little weekly kind of a reminder of the different shows that are on DEN each week. I put a short description to kind of outline what the show is about, what time it is each week. And then there's some pre-recorded stuff that's on Lisa's channel over in Mighty as well that I put as a bonus at the bottom. So there's a little TV guide for Den shows this week. And that's it. That's what it is. So go read that if you're interested in the things that people are doing on Den, especially the live shows and stuff. The other piece is from Unicorn over in the cryptocurrency Lair. And this one, I added to it in the comments because there's not any links to the references and things like that. But it is, to me, exactly the kind of thing that I want to see in the cryptocurrency Lair, which is news about stuff. And if since this is sort of it is a decentralized effort to write the content and to evaluate each other's content and stuff like that, I would say go in there and see if there's a headline in there that interests you, that you think warrants more discussion or needs to be elaborated on, or maybe you just want to give a link. Since Unicorn didn't link to sources, maybe you can provide that too for the things that seem interesting. But jump in there. I was actually going to go and post about Coinbase's suit, I guess, with the SEC. But then I saw it was included in Unicorn's list of news items, so I decided just to have it as a reply to that. So go do that, add to the conversation so we can all keep ourselves informed about what's going on, because I know that I don't have time to, chase down every source of news on the internet. So we need all of us to do that for each other. So thanks, Unicorn, for writing that up. So that's featured content for this week. And then lastly, we have a merch deal for World Blockchain Roundtable. So WBRT has been around for 100 episodes. Around for 100 episodes. I can't speak this morning. 100 episodes. There we go. And to celebrate, they are discounting merch. So the 100th episode was on 4/20 this year, just last week. And the coupon code for the merch store is WBRT-100th-episode. So if you put in 100th WBRT 100th episode, as is on the screen there, all lowercase, you will get, let me scroll down, you'll get 10% off. So if you want a coffee cup, I currently have my, what used to be, this is going to be a bad review, I'm sorry, but this used to be my fellowship cup. It changed colors when you poured coffee in it and with the dragon, and I've used it so much that I've washed off the dragon. Anyway, the World Blockchain Roundtable coffee cup, I can tell, is much more durable. So go buy that one and use the coupon code. All right. In closing, watch Super Happy Dragon Lucky next Tuesday at 11 Eastern or 1500 UTC. Watch World Blockchain Roundtable on Thursday at 1100 Eastern or 1600 UTC. That's 4 p.m. if you're in America. Actually, no, it's 11 a.m. if you're in America, but 1600 means 4. And then follow Dragonchain at Dragonchain, and follow Den's official account at Real Denizens, and follow Joe at Jojo Row over on Twitter, because they say stuff and you can keep up with it. Like, comment, and share this so that we can. Oh, hey, it's 1500 by the way. World Blockchain is it's 1500 UTC. Just a quick correction. Regardless, you still need to like, comment, and share this so that everybody can see all my updates that I just did. All right. So we'll catch up with you later. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Subscribe to the Coffee with Den Lair. I'll plug my own self over there for a minute because it is not an LCP layer, which means you are not auto-subscribed to it. You got to go do that manually. So go check that out, and then we'll see you later. I'll see you in the morning, all right? Thanks.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. Adaptable approach is palpable if this animal is fallible. But that conclusion is laughable, so with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.